Thank you for staying with us. We're talking small-scale farmers in COVID-19. The pandemic has taken its toll on all human activities and endeavors since its outbreak. Today, we're looking at what are the farmers doing beyond now. Are they still going to farm? After now, what will happen? Because there's been that concern of food security post-COVID-19. How would it be? So to help us understand exactly what's happening and what they are working on, we are joining us from our Abuja studio, Chijioke Ihoma, who's the winner Oxfam Female Food Hero. And also that will be joining us from our Abuja State, Professor Bolagade Ayola, who's a member of the National Council on Agriculture. But here in Lagos, we have Segun Ato, who's the National Deputy President, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And also here is Chinasa Sonye, who's a coordinator of Obonge Women Farmers Association in Lagos. Welcome.
Thank you.
I like your name, Obonge Women.
Okay, so I understand Chijioke Ihoma, who's the Oxfam Female Food Hero. He's in Abuja, and Professor Bolagade Ayola, member National Council on Agriculture. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Incidentally, I'm not a member of the National Council on Agriculture. I'm chairman of the Voices for Food Security. I'm president Farm and Infrastructure Foundation.
Voices for Food Security. Thank you. Okay, let's start with you, the chairman of the Voices for Food Security. Tell us, Professor Ayola, what would you say is the state of the agricultural sector within this period?
It's grim. The situation is very grim. The food security situation is highly susceptible to emergencies of this nature. As you know, farmers live under one emergency or the other. They live under disease outbreaks. They live under weather inadequacies and such other things that have become part of their own life. But that is in the normal times. This is a special abnormal time when a strange disease is also added to their situation that creates fear in them concerning their livelihoods, concerning their economy, concerning their social security, and even aggravating their poverty situation. So the situation is very bad. The farmers don't have what they expect to have, what they would like to have. The inputs are scarce. The market is far and farther away from them, even when it is locked. The services they require to perform their daily activities are not reaching them, and they are also not able to reach out to be able to access these services. The infrastructure situation is bad. Therefore, it's a complex condition for the farm population at the very moment, and they need rescue. They need assistance. They need serious support more than ever before.
Fortunately for us, we have farmers here in the studio to help us here. But let me start with you, Chijioke Ihoma. You are a farmer, and the picture that the prof is painting is a very bleak picture. Is there hope?
Yes, there is hope if we want to work together. If the government wants to work with the farmers, there is hope. There is hope to improve. There is hope to better yield. There is hope to farmers returning to their farms. Because this period of COVID-19 has really caused a lot of harm and a lot of setback on farming season. In as much as we've been battling with insecurity in the northern part of the country here, we have no opportunity of getting to the farms where we can get good yields. So we keep on managing and using our land that has been used. But we are not getting support from the government as we should. And before, like last year, by now, we have gotten the farming season flag off campaign that will help us get half the market price from the government. But this year, because of the situation at hand, we don't have that. And the markets are closed, that you can't get seeds. Then during this lockdown, because of the urgency of it, the farmers had to use their seeds to feed and also make sure that there is food in the markets or around the home to sell. But now that this thing has happened, no more seeds, no fertilizers. How do we do? What do we do? So we are still looking at the government to do something. Their intervention should be fast because we are in the rainy seasons already. We are not going back. The rain can't wait. We cannot tell the climate to wait. It must come. So we are in the rainy season already and we have to face it if we must have food at 2021.
Mr. Ato, if we must have food at 2021, as a rice farmer, you still have some products from the last harvest, right? Is it about having food? Would those how are you going to manage those products that you still have? Then you're now almost entering the next planting season. How's that working?
Well, thank you very much. In agriculture, I believe that to salvage the situation we are in today, there should be a kind of continuous production of food in Nigeria. Right away now, I grow rice, and I know that rice, I can grow it all year round. And right away now, our farmers are already on the farm, and they already started to plant, making sure that there is going to be availability of this product for millers or processors to process. So if you look at it, we are about also to start distributing input to our farmers because already as a farmer, we are under government Anchor Borrower Program. This Anchor Borrower Program, we have started it about 3 years ago, and we have started distributing input to our farmers. So this year, in not distant time, by next month, we are going to distribute another input to farmers. So this will help food to grow in this country the way we wanted it to be. Because problem of food security in Nigeria, we need government assistance like she has said, and we want government to assist farmers. And the people captured under our program is the one we are taking care of because we captured them, we monitor them, they grow, they did everything possible to make sure that they remain on their production line so that we will not have that of scarcity of food outside there.
See, when you're talking about your farmers are planting there in the field already, you still have harvest, continuous production. Is that enough? Because when you finish harvesting your rice, there's a chain, there's a value chain that's involved. Okay. That some people are wondering, if you say you have rice that has been planted, how is it that local rice is even more expensive than the foreign rice? So what is causing that discrepancy, so to speak?
Well, the sector I belong to under that value chain is the one I can answer. I am a primary producer. I produce for processors or millers, and millers now sell to marketers. Are you getting me? It's a chain value of value chain that you have to look into. How much am I selling to them? How much are they processing their rice? And how much are they selling to retailers? Are you getting me? So we have to look at all those sectors. Because if I sell my own, I cannot say that, okay, this is how you must sell. I can't tell you that. Indeed. And they themselves, the processors or millers, they can't tell the sellers that this is what you should sell. Because in Nigeria, we don't have guaranteed minimum price that guided everything we do. We don't have.
Yes.
Because if we have guaranteed minimum price in this country, I believe surely that things will stabilize and there will be stability in the market. And everybody will get it at the price that's okay by all. Yes.
Ogonge women, So,
What are the Obonge women into?
okay. An Obonge woman is a strong, industrious, that can go through all odds to provide food for the family.
What I mean is what
Obonge women cut across all farming sectors. We are multi-purpose, Obonge Women Multi-Purpose Cooperative Association.
Okay.
I'm also the Assistant Secretary of Small Scale Women Farmers of Nigeria. So now I'm speaking on behalf of all the women farmers and also small scale farmers, because now we have to talk. Our women farmers are suffering. Our farmers are crying. Going line the lane of the agricultural sector, talking about the aquaculture. Before the lockdown, we have stocked our ponds with fish. Some we are about to sell. Some we are producing, the ushers were producing to also sell to the growers. The feed millers are also producing, and the lockdown came. What do? We have stocked our ponds with fish. We cannot sell. The fishes are eating, and we cannot sell the fish because there are no buyers to buy the fish.
But we were still allowed to go out and buy food even during the lockdown.
Yes, allowed to go down. Where is the transport to get to the farmers? How do you move? We are allowed. Is it everybody that is allowed to go? It's not everybody that is allowed to go. We are all stocked with fish in our ponds. The processors, we said, we cannot continue to feed. Let us process. The processors are processing their fish. Nobody to buy. The hotels are closed. The restaurants are closed. The bars are closed. Where do we go from here? Our women are crying. The Lagos State Catfish of Nigeria, that is LASCAFA president, has written to the Commissioner of Agric that they need to come and offtake our produce from us. That's different. Going line vegetable farmers. Before the lockdown, they already planted their vegetables. And what is happening now? We stayed at home for 5 weeks. What do you think that will happen to those vegetables? Of course, the vegetables were infected. Insects took over all the vegetable farms. Our women went there and they were all crying. Where do we start from? No seedlings to start off again. There was this woman that actually collected loan. We all have loans in different banks, the BOA, the NISRA loans. They all collected loans. Where do you think they are going to get the money to pay back? What will the banks do? Are they going to extend their moratorium? Are we going to continue to pay? Where do we get the money from? Coming line the lane of mushroom farmers, their spawns are infected. They are fruited, the mushrooms that have been dried cannot even be sold to the supermarkets or to the hotels or to wherever they are selling to. What do? Then you go line the pig farmers. What is happening to the pig farmers? African swine fever has taken over all the pigs. Go to Okiaro. Our women are crying. The farmers are crying. What do? We have been talking. We have been shouting. Nothing is happening. The pig farmers have lost more than 50,000 pigs. They've dug a pit. They've buried the pigs. Even the pits are even filled up. Where would they go from here? What do? Where do we start from? Then go line the lane of the poultry farmers. The farmers are stocked with their broilers. The eggs are stacked there. How do they sell their eggs? They are giving away their eggs ridiculous prices as low as... Even the buyers, there are not even buyers to even buy. They are trashing out their eggs. If we had an egg producer, that is, that produces the egg, that compresses the egg into egg powder, that would have been better. But it's so expensive to do that. Then you go line the lane of the cassava farmers. The cassava. What is happening? We have planted.
Professor, I hope you are listening.
We have planted now. Climate change is taking up from... We have planted. We are begging for the rain to come. If the rain does not come between now and tomorrow, all the cassava sticks, all the corns we have planted is gone.
Professor, you were saying that the future was looking bleak, but here we are. Farmers are telling us that they have food, but they have no buyers. No.
Yes, it's a very serious situation. Indeed, this is a time when one is in a position to advise the declaration of emergency on the food sector because the farmer is presently overwhelmed. From what we have heard, two things are critical. Both of them that the farmers are denied of at the present moment. One is the farm inputs, the fertilizers, the seeds, the agrochemicals. From what we have heard, farmers are not reaching these items, and these items are not accessible to them. The second thing that is critical for farm population to thrive is rural infrastructure. From what we have heard, the market infrastructures are inaccessible at the present time. Production infrastructure are not serviceable. The grazing reserves, the rural road networks, the rural water supply schemes. Then we come to storage infrastructure. Where are they keeping their things? In ordinary rumbos, which is traditional and cannot service the system anymore. What is happening in the silos? The silos, as we speak, are empty. We have never been able to fill our silos beyond 1/3 of the capacity created in the past 20 years. Therefore, we cannot even respond to these emergencies as we should. You could remember that just immediately as the federal government declared distribution of food items from the silos, people started to cry that the grains were bad, which meant that the storage system was not functional, was not working well enough. Then we come to processing infrastructure. Where are they to process the rice, the fish, the livestock items, the poultry products, and so on and so forth? Then finally, the market infrastructure. The farmers have been locked out of the market system. Therefore, they cannot reach their buyers. So two double-edged swords are playing out. One is the supply end. They are unable to supply to the market. The other is the demand end, whereby the people that will consume farm products are also locked in their houses. So the fear, the danger we presently nurse is what happens soon afterwards, in 2021 in particular. There will be a major supply-demand gap that we have to fill. Therefore, I like to propose the launching of a serious emergency in the food sector. In fact, this is the time that the National Security Advisor should be able to work closely with the National Food Security Advisor and take over the situation. If possible, draft the military to fix the infrastructures, to dump food items to the vulnerable poor, to the long-suffering, to people in protracted suffering, people in IDP camps, and so on and so forth. The rural populace is really in a dilemma as the way to go in terms of this COVID-19 that we are facing. Government needs to double its effort. They are doing well. In fact, they have responded very well in terms of opening up the silos, in terms of doing one or two things, but I have not noticed government presence in fixing the infrastructures and in treating farmers as special people. You see, you have just discussed issue of poverty. At the center of poverty is food poverty. Indeed, they say that if you can address food poverty, poverty will become zero. Therefore, we need to treat the farm population as a special category at this point in time, which, once we solve the problems facing them, the rest of the population will be more relaxed and we can take care of their health as need be.
Quite a challenge we have here. But we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at what is the solution. Besides looking out to the government for policies and implementation, what can the farmers do? How do we resuscitate the market so that these products are taken off the hands of the farmers before they rot and waste? We'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. You caught us there. The farmers are really not finding this thing funny. And we're looking at how do we resolve all of this so that within the pandemic and beyond, there is food safety and all of that. And Prof has spoken about a couple of things. Let me stay with you. Chijioke Homa, Prof has spoken about a lot of things and how to move forward. But from your point of view, what should be done?
Yeah, from my own point of view, what I think that should be done is our farmers are ready to work. They are ready to go down the lane. If, number one, the insecurity, this herders-farmers clash, if it can be reduced, or stopped, it will help us to do more. Because when you go into the farms, you go to the bush, like the areas you know that you will get maximum yield, you plant. And after wasting your money doing all those things, and one animal comes and eats everything up, what have you succeeded in doing? You've wasted everything. Another thing is, in the processing, like an area in Gwagwalada, we have this women development center that you just carry after harvesting your rice, you carry it there, they process it to finished and with a cheaper price. But that place has been locked for a very long time. Why? Why is that place locked? You're talking of the increase that the local rice is higher than the foreign rice. But with such facilities available, there will be a reduction in production price because it's the production price that makes the local rice more expensive than the foreign rice. But if you have such things at stake, they are there. You just put them in use. A peasant farmer will just harvest the rice, carry it there, mill it, and get the final product and sell. And she will spend, if not less or half or lesser than what should have been spent if she is to go into production. Those are the things we need to consider. Then, as we are doing that, you don't expect us, like during the period of God, when a farmer harvests his goods, carry it to the market is crowded with such goods. Like we say garden egg, all fruits and vegetables, you carry garden egg to the market, everybody there brought garden egg. And what will you do? Sometimes you end up selling at 500 naira per bag, just to see that you have transport to go. What can we do? Okay, during maize, when you harvest maize, when you take maize to the market, you end up selling a bag of maize at 5,000 naira. Then there is maize plenty. We buy it, everybody eats it up, and it goes. But if the government can open the silos, at that time, you buy directly from the farmers, store. When you store them, at the time of no maize, we are looking for maize, there's no maize, you sell from there. You have helped to reduce the price of that thing and also help the farmer to, as he or she sells off, you go back to do another thing so that you can still be keeping your family going. Those are the things we are expecting from the government. In as much as we are not demanding for much, the little we are demanding, they should give us. Also, we are talking of these implements. As a woman, I farm with hoe. Last year in Burkina Faso, I was there when they did a program retiring the hoe to the museum. We are supposed to adopt such things in Nigeria. Our hoe should be retired to the museum. There are other farming implements that are gender-friendly, that are easy to handle, and that are cheap, that we are expecting to have so that this problem of bending and waist pain and walking a long distance to go to the farm, carrying load from a very far distance, more than 3-4 kilometers on your head with children and coming back to the house or going to the market. Those things are things that we expect that our government should at least cut down for us so that we can manage and let there be food production. Also, you talk of these poultry farmers, fish farmers. The production of fish is very high now. The production of poultry is very high. And at that, after production, you don't see markets. You have done the production, you have gotten it, but there is no market, no access to market. So all those things should be looked into. How do we call all these things? How do we reduce the stress of the farmer? Because as a young farmer, you have a lot of stress to do. And other people coming, seeing you passing through those stress with nothing to show for it. It's not encouraging. I won't even encourage any of my child to go into farming because it is very stressful and nothing to show for it. The only thing you have to show is that you have food in your house to eat. Apart from that, you cannot do any much thing with it. It's not good. It's not helping. Our government should look at a way of helping farmers. The farmers are really working, they are ready to work, they are ready to produce, but how do we help them to avert some of these problems that comes with production and the costs?
Okay.
Thank you very
much. Now, Dennis says that if there was electricity and storage, many of these farmers could store their products a little longer. Electricity remains our major problem. Do you agree, Chinasa?
Of course. Electricity is our major problem, but aside from that, we can also, like, if we had blast freezers, where electricity, like now we are crying on how to sell the fish, we can stock in the blast freezers.
That's right. And the pig farmers can also store their pork.
Yes, and even store and even smoke. But you know, I think the duration of smoking is, you know, the taste will not always be okay. So it is better you blast freeze your produce. The thing now we have to be looking at is, how do we sell the stocks on ground, our produce on ground? What do we do?
The country is opening up gradually now.
Yes, it's opening up gradually.
Yeah.
But there are still interstate lockdown.
True.
We are feeding. We are spending more money to feed. The raw materials are not coming in. The feed millers are increasing their price because they are not getting the raw materials. We are buying the raw materials to feed. We have fed more than what we are supposed to feed. We would have sold in March. We are still feeding.
But what
do we do?
Why do you think the government is not buying?
That is where I'm heading to. That is what I'm trying to say now, that we need the government to take off.
Why is it that why do you think the government is not willing to buy from you farmers?
I wouldn't know, because I don't know, you know, the thing is that I don't know why the government don't want to buy it from us, because that is what we are trying to tell them, that they have to take off this produce from us.
Uche P says that the River State government has done that. He has bought all produce from farmers at this period of COVID to give palliatives to the people.
Okay, let me take it to Mr. Mr. You mentioned earlier that you're in partnership, you're doing what's in partnership with the government in terms of rice production. But is government taking this rice off you?
Well, we have
especially seeing that the processors are not really coming out.
What is that everybody is afraid nowadays. The partnership we have with processors, they are off-takers. Whatever we produce as a primary producer, it is off-takers that come. We have over 29 milling machines in the country. That is big, giant ones. They are available. If you go to Kano, even Lagos State now, we thank God that Lagos State is putting up 32,000 metric tons at Imota. And we pray that God should help them to complete the project. So if we are talking that who is going to be off-taker, we have off-taker already. Who is off-taking?
Till now?
Yes.
So there's no rice wasting?
There's no rice wasting. The problem we have now is lock-up. Look at Ogun State now. They just locked their border again. Look at the other states. Go to the road there. You see vehicles jam pack here and there. Doing what? The vehicles that are supposed to move food from places to places, they are not free to do that. And that.
But how does that affect you? But your off-takers are still coming to take your rice.
Yes, they are taking our rice. They have already off-taken several rice before this convict issue started. You know, we are entering into another planting season. Are you getting me? They are seriously off-take.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Even they too, they will have problem, except if they have a letter of exemption for NATO and others. Those who are transport sector.
Yeah, but they're moving food products and they are allowed to move.
Yes, it depends. Even, let me tell you, they're also facing challenge of all these security agents. Yes. They are extorting from them.
They're extorting from them.
They are seriously extorting from them. If they are going with the goods, they stop them, they challenge them, they do all sorts with them. And how do you expect such to be moved? Really? Even, like I'm telling you, we are going to farm. Do you know that police disturb us on the road?
Even though you're essential
workers.
Yes, they disturb us sometimes.
That's why they
I have been to police stations several times to go and talk to them so that they can leave us alone, so that we can perform our normal duty. So we can't continue like this and things goes well in this country. So we need to do, we want government to be more proactive. We want government to be more, to wake up. See, when soldiers, police, when they are into armed security, we are into food security. Where there is no food security, then armed security will increase in this country. So we have to go into food security. Government have to look at it critically. Then they have to come up with a solution that will help to bring down all these things that we are discussing here this morning.
I also want to say something.
Yes.
I'm also calling on the banks. Some of our farmers have collected loans, and we need to pay back. And in these loan agreements, there are no insurance agreements signed. And we're talking about the NISRA loan, because some of our women farmers have collected the loans. There is no insurance agreement signed on the food produce, but they cover the money. The insurance agreement is signed on the money, covered the money. How do we do it? Are they going to extend the moratorium? Yes, we heard that CBN is going to extend the moratorium, but we have not even been contacted. Our women that have collected the loans have not even been contacted that there will be an extension. So we need all these things. We also need a situation whereby they're talking about the school feeding, the palliatives now for the school feeding. We were in it before. That's a school feeding program. But now they want to, I don't know how they're going to do it, going to houses to distribute the raw materials. Let them buy up this produce from us. Because what I'm looking at is that we're having more produce than what the government can even offtake. There are a lot of them on ground. So let them go around and buy off. We have associations. We have different associations. Let the government sit with all these presidents. Let them hear from them. Ask them questions. How do we? Let it be a network. How do we do it?
Has there been any effort from your association to engage government on this?
Yes, we have. The Lagos
And
State,
what was government's reaction?
The Lagos State Catfish Association of Nigeria, through the president, has actually written to the commissioner, talking about buying off our produce from us. And they said, okay, that they will get back to us. That was actually what we did.
So you're waiting for
Yes, we are
feedback.
waiting for feedback. The Pig Farmers Association have actually written. They've even, if you go to the YouTube, you see their videos, you see they've spoken to the government. They have come. They've told them to disinfect. They've disinfected. But you know, when the swine fever goes in, the African swine fever goes in, it is difficult. It kills all the pigs. The types of all this. Last time they had this swine fever was in 2010.
African fly, did you say?
Swine fever.
Oh, okay.
African swine fever.
Okay.
The last time they had this was in 2010. And this came just when COVID is taking care of human beings. And the swine fever, the African swine fever, is the one dealing with the pigs. So we need, even despite, after off-taking, we also need to start off. Those vegetable farmers that have lost their produce, we need good seedlings, we need improved seedlings to start off. We need grants, we need loans, not this, what single digits.
Prof, let me take some tweets here. Victor says, listening to your guest right now brought tears to my eyes. I'm thinking on what he said about us not being able to fill our silos beyond 1/3 of its capacity in the past 20 years. Can we just leave oil in Nigeria and focus on agriculture headlong? That's his suggestion. Ndubi Suwa says, rice millers have shut their doors to party suppliers due to the fear of contracting the COVID-19. They now rely on their own farms for production. It is also no longer news that the supply chain of farm produce is broken. Farmers need support from government. Uche P, okay, you read that one earlier.
Yeah.
Kwesi Fola says, I hear the complaints and I can only say when we finally decide to be a bit advanced and collective in our thinking, just maybe we'll be heading somewhere. I see the lack of leadership, direction, vision, and the people who are struggling to survive. He says poverty is a killer. Prof, in all of this, we still have institutions who are doing research, and the farming continues. And everybody's talking about government, government, government. Is it possible, or what do you think about a suggestion someone posted here, if the farmers can just, in their communities, just announce that we have this produce for sale, at least let's get them out before they rot and waste away? What do you think about that person's suggestion? That's coming from Ken.
Thank you very much. The issue here is that we are in a very bad time. At normal times, there are three basic ways by which government is called upon to service the right of people to food. One is by recognizing that right. And what we have been saying up to now is in the area of recognizing the right. Government is doing well enough in recognizing the right, trying to put in measures and all other instruments that will make food available, food accessible, at times food affordable. But the second is to protect that right. Government is also doing its best. These are normal times instruments. We are saying we are in a bad time where the COVID-19 had added to the worries of farmers, worries about farmer herdsmen clashes, worried that already existed in terms of insurgency, in terms of cattle rustling, in terms of locust invasion, in terms of disease outbreaks that they live with normally. In addition to that is COVID-19 now. And that is the time the third instrument comes into play, whereby government is called upon to fulfill that right. Otherwise, we are pushing gradually into a precipice. And the precipice is that the people will try to make a choice between hunger and COVID-19. And I tell you, they will prefer not to die of hunger instead of dying of COVID-19. That is the situation, that is the picture we are trying to discuss. In that situation, it can no longer be business as usual, both for private sector, farmers, processors, marketers, and so on, and also for government. Government needs to push, and that is why I talked of emergency. Emergency in the sense that the areas where government did not used to go, they have to go in there. They have to double the efforts in terms of those things farmers cannot reach. The market they cannot reach, the inputs they cannot reach to buy, and so on, should now come to them. And it is only God that can help us to come out of such a situation, but government has a role to play in order to transport these things, in order to move harder than before, in order to situate the farm population with a rest of mind that will make them remain on the farm. They need to be specially treated. We need to move rural infrastructures closer to them, transportation in particular. Restrictions may have to be relaxed in their favor more than other parts of the population under guidance so that they do not also fall sick under COVID-19. So it is a serious situation. It needs thorough planning. It needs thorough action. And above all, it needs serious pumping of public funds into the rural communities to sustain the food security situation of the country.
Okay.
I've got to read this one. B says, do these farmers have a website or Twitter account that individuals can relate with them? Some individuals can partner with them. I think that's wonderful news for you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you do have one, please tell us.
We will give you this handle so that you can contact them through your groups and let them. Olani Adeosun says he presents a radio program on fintech and agriculture. And is there any way he can help with the situation? So we'll give you this handle so that you can reach out to them. But then, do you have Twitter handles? You can even say it. So that, what are your Twitter handles?
Yeah, the one for Lagos is www.obongewomenlagos.com. That is the
website.
The website.
www.obongewomen.com.
Yes.
.com.
.com or .org?
.org.
.org.
Obongewomen. OGBONGE. Women.org.
Yes.
That's for you
That's
guys.
for-
What about
yes.
the rice?
Okay. www.refaninfo.org.
www.refaninfo.org. info.org. That's for the rice farmers. Then, Prof, is there a website where, or a means by which those that want to help these farmers can reach out to help?
www.fifnig.org.
Okay, thank you.
www.fifs.org.
Chijoke is a farm hero.
The farm hero. Okay. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you for all of you sharing your thoughts, and we hope that some solution will be brought forth as quickly as possible for the sake of food security. Chijioke Ihoma is the winner of the Oxfam Female Food Hero. Professor Gbalagade Ayola is a chairman of Voices of Food Security. Shegun Ato and National Deputy President, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, and Chinasa Asonye, the coordinator of Bonge Women Farmers Association in Lagos. Thank you all for sharing your day and your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
Sunrise will be back in a moment. Please stay with us.